Good morning. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is September the 18th. So I have been getting some requests for readings on the people who are running for the Democratic nomination for the 2020 election. And I'm not going to do any sort of in-depth readings until much closer. Sort of literally like kind of the middle of next year, June, July, I'll start drilling down on kind of the top contenders at that point. But what I thought I would do today is just do quick little blips and blurbs on what I'm seeing for some of them. I'm not going to go into depth, but I'm going to give kind of an overview of what's going on with them and what their outlooks look like. So, I am purposely leaving Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Buttigieg off this one. I'm going to do some of the ones that are sort of lower down the numbers line and see what we can see. Okay, so just a couple more shuffles and let's see what we can find out. So, come on down. I have a question. Okay, so let's start with, I've gotten a lot of requests for Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson. Let's see what her story is right now. Okay, so she is offering her campaign strategy is sort of love. We're going to go with the emotions. We're going to lead with the emotions. We're going to, put heart into the things that we do going forward. That has put her in a very precarious situation, because the reality is the government, especially at this point, is not about love and let's embrace one another. It is about, flat out war between the two sides. And while she thinks that she may have a good shot at it, in reality, she doesn't. She's going to run out of funds and she's going to run out of support. She may have some really good ideas, and they may be ideas and philosophies that end up getting incorporated somewhere down the line. But at this point, she's not a strong enough candidate, and she doesn't have the experience that she needs to actually run a government. She's very good at what she does, which is, inspirational, kind of spiritual, like books and talks, that kind of thing. But she's not cut out to be political, a political animal. She may, however, find herself being given some sort of a good position within the government, or finding something that boosts her abilities, and she'll be able to expand on what she has now and take it to a higher level. Is that going to be in politics? I don't know, but it doesn't at this point look like it. But she's got a very bright and rosy future. It is just not as a presidential candidate. It's just not at this time. It might be in the works for her in 10 years. I don't know, but for right now, I'm sorry, like, she's a really nice lady, and I agree with a lot of what she says, but when you're dealing with a personality like Trump, you can't try to fix them with love. first you have to get them at least to understand what's wrong before you start, you know, heaping positive energies upon them in an attempt to get them to change. So that's that for her. I want to take a look at Beto O'Rourke. He had a really good start of it, and he seems to be falling in the polls. So Beto O'Rourke, Beto O'Rourke, Beto O'Rourke. Okay, I gotta say, that's a little bit of a tongue twister, that is. Okay. His passion to take a really hard line on gun reform legislation is what is propelling him forward. A couple of things. He has that, you know, Bobby Kennedy sort of charm to him, and that's going to serve him well a little bit down the road. At this point, he needs to focus on what he wants to focus on, but which is changing the whole gun culture and legislation. But his view at this point is too stringent. It's going to create more of a backlash than you would think, frankly. I mean, somebody who stands up there and says, we're going to take away your AK-47s would in any other country be responded to with, well, of course you are. What are they doing on the street in the first dang place? In America, there is this sense of any gun is mine. I can have it, I can use it, and I'm going to stand behind them defending myself, that Second Amendment thing. Except, you know what, I don't know if somebody is, you know, breaking into your house, you actually need to go after them with an AK-47, but apparently that seems to be the prevailing attitude. And the kind of dramatic change that he is looking for is going to have to come in increments. Once the Democrats have all the power, they'll be able to push through some really significant changes and adjustments on the way, you know, guns are sold and background checks and all of that kind of stuff. But he's just not well positioned to accomplish what he wants to accomplish in terms of running for president. He is very well positioned to become a major voice within the government or connected to the government in gun advocacy at this point. So I fear that he is going down again. You know what? He's another one. In a few years from now, he may be able to make a run and actually really, really accomplish something. This is the problem, is you have a lot of people running in your race who don't have the experience that it's going to take to get your country on a stronger path and a corrected path, like to correct the things that have been done wrong. You need somebody with a lot of political savvy, because they're going up against someone who has zero regard for the rules. And because of that, you have to be prepared to play outside of the boundary of the rules, but in a way that does not antagonize the people you don't want antagonized, right? Those swing voters, the independents, Republicans who are really fed up with Trump. Okay. I want to take a look at Castro, Julian Castro. When I saw the blurbs from the last debate, my first reaction was, you just blew it. You cannot go after Joe Biden with age. And he did it, and he was aggressive. And not only was he aggressive about that, but when questioned, he doubled down. And you know what? I gotta say, the world is really sick and tired of politicians doubling down. And that may not have been the best strategy for him to employ. It did not work when Swalwell tried to do it. And shortly thereafter, Swalwell had to pull out of the race. And that's unfortunate because that man has a great deal of potential. But you can't go after members of your own party with sort of the viciousness that he displayed. So Castro. I would expect to see him pulling out of the race in the next handful of weeks. He is not strong enough to go after Donald Trump. He is aggressive enough, but not strong enough. So if they were ever in a face-to-face debate, he would end up looking belligerent as opposed to strong and forceful. Again, he has some government experience, but not quite enough. I think the only time somebody can take a jump from head of HUD, and into the presidency, I think the only time that's been done is like on Designated Survivor, the TV show, okay? It's too big a leap. Yeah. So he's just created a situation for himself where he has sort of lost a little bit of the energy behind him. And this is going to be a real trick for all of the Democrats, right? People are so fed up with that Trump attitude, and I'll do what I want and I'll say what I want, and I don't care who I insult, I don't care who I hurt, I don't care if I'm outside the norms of polite society even. People are really tired of that. And so when a politician comes across as aggressive, as opposed to savvy, as opposed to someone who could eat this guy up and, spit him out for breakfast kind of thing, it comes across as a way, it just comes across like more of the same, or potentially more of the same. It's a very, very fine line they have to draw in being forceful, but without coming across as too aggressive. Speaking of too aggressive, we're going to take a look at Harris. I really liked her. In fact, months ago, I said that I would not be surprised if there was a Joe Biden-Harris ticket where she would come in as vice president. It would be a perfect fit, right? You would have a black woman vice president, and it would be the perfect jumping stone for her to then take the presidency in 2024, because I have always felt that if Joe Biden gets in, he's going to be a 4-year president, and his job is literally going to be cleaning up the mess in aisle 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then sort of cleaning the palette in a way that the newcomers, the up and comings, are going to have a better solid base to work with. When she went after Joe Biden, and when she did not back down, it was the same feeling. It was just that kind of aggressiveness where you didn't need to be aggressive. And ever since that, she has been losing ground in the polls, and she can't seem to regain her traction. And it has nothing to do with her being a woman and being aggressive. It didn't work for Castro, and it didn't work for Sewell, and it's not going to work for her. So I'm really sad to see that has happened, because I think she had like tremendous potential, but I don't see that as something that is going to work out for her this time around. Let's take a look. Harris, Harris, Harris. Yeah. Okay, so she made a decision. She made a strategy decision. It was this way or that way. And because of the success that she had had in some of those hearings where she was asking really pointed questions and really putting people in their place, she decided to go with a more aggressive posture. And what it did was it ended up putting her in a position where she is now having to defend herself and try to fight back and regain that sort of promise that she had at the start of this. She is an amazing example of when karma comes around, or the universe comes around, or blessings come to you, you are always given a choice. No one says, I'm going to dump this present on you and you have to take it. It is, I present this to you, do with it what you want, free will. Okay? When she made the choice she made, in some ways, she really did lessen the amount of success that she was going to have, certainly in this period of time. And that's really unfortunate because she's savvy and she's smart and she's got really good ideas. But people are tired of listening to people being attacked. It's just fatigue from the whole Trump situation. And so we don't want to hear it anywhere else. We just don't. And that was a miscalculation that I think a couple of them have made. Elizabeth Warren has been absolutely brilliant in not getting into the fray. She's neither been attacked, nor has she done anything sort of aggressive or kind of insulting to the party. So there's that. Let's see, who else do we want to look at? Okay, so people like Bennett and Bullock and de Blasio and Gabbard, Ryan. Some of these teams I haven't even heard. Steiner, Yang, Stanford. Oh no, Stanford's Republican. Okay. They've got, they just do not have the momentum. Okay, sorry about that. That grouping of names, they just do not have the momentum at this point. They're too far behind in the race. They are not going to surge forward with great numbers. At this point, the electric is pretty clear. They're looking for somebody who can fix this situation, try to get things sorted out, because what's going to happen is over time, you guys are going to find out exactly all the stuff that didn't make headline news all the time. And so there's a lot of stuff that has gone on in the United States that is still being hidden simply because there's so much going on, it can't be covered. So as a Democratic president comes in, you're going to be finding out all of the stuff that you didn't even realize had happened under the Trump administration. And so there's going to be that need for like, okay, we need somebody who can clean this up, restore our reputation internationally. We need somebody with experience, and we need somebody with clear thinking. And we need somebody powerful, because at the bottom line is unless we have somebody who can hands down beat Trump, you got 4 more years of this. Now, none of the readers I know, myself included, think that Trump is going to be around for that second term. I continue to stand by that. But that doesn't mean that it is going to be a sure win, right? You still have to do the work. Okay, and I think the last one I want to look at, no, I think maybe I'll look at Klobuchar and Yang. Okay, so let's do Klobuchar first. Amy Klobuchar, Amy Klobuchar, Amy Klobuchar. Yeah, she's just not, this is not her time to shine. It's just as simple as that. And I'm sorry to all of the people who like her. And I like her. I think she's a really great lady. But this isn't her time. And so what she's finding is that her ideas and her thoughts, even though they are well thought out and they are strategic and they're sort of down home and everybody can kind of understand her, she's just being blocked and restricted sort of like at every turn. So she can't seem to build up any momentum. She can't kind of get going. And because of that, she's just like stuck. So I don't see much improvement for her, unfortunately. However, you know, she may be one of those ones who ends up finding herself with a really awesome cabinet position in a new administration. And Yang, Andrew Yang. Let's take a look at him. Andrew Yang, Andrew Yang, Andrew Yang. Yeah. So again, you know, he has some really good ideas. He doesn't have the government experience. And kind of, I got to think that after the whole Trump fiasco, people would be a little nervous about bringing in a politician for high office that has a business background with no political background. It is a dangerous combination because in order to succeed in business, there has to be some aggressiveness, we're going to push through my way. And that is exactly the opposite of how good politics works. So he's got some good ideas. But I think, yeah, it's not going to fly. Okay. I mean, he's just not going to, again, build up the momentum that he needs to stay in the race long term. So, that's that. I'm going to leave this at that. I am sorry if I have disappointed some of you. I'm sorry if you heard something you didn't want to hear. These are my impressions from the way I read the cards and the energetic energy around the people I am focusing on. So, that's all I can say. I call it like I see it. So, for now, that's going to be it. I will see you probably again tomorrow. Until then, take care and be well. Bye-bye.